right? If I understand it correctly, you don't wish to identify yourself either?
Not at this time.
So I'll ask you once again, are you Sabrina Constance Hill? May I ask what your interest is?
I'm a videographer.
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay. What is your name?
Oh, I'm not going to identify myself.
Okay.
Sure.
Okay.
Yeah. Like if am I obliged to? Because I'll identify if I'm obliged to. Sorry, what? Who?
The RCMP.
Okay.
Yeah, so I'm just a little bit concerned because you're standing next to the highway, which is not really safe, right?
Okay.
Hey everyone, Sabrina here. So, what you saw in the preview section just a moment ago, and what you'll see unedited later on, is the me denying the officer's question as to who I am. He asked me 3 or 4 times if I am Sabrina Hill, and each time I said no. There's a very specific reason why I do this, and I'm more than happy to explain it a little bit later, and I will. But I just wanted to let you know. I thought that instead of you just watching this video clip, I might offer some commentary over top of the wind noise, for which there was a lot of on this particular day. So I live not too far from here, just literally a minute or two down the road from this particular facility, and it was built while I was living overseas. When I came back, this all used to be empty fields for the most part. When I came back to Canada, I spotted this building immediately, right away, upon returning to this area where I live. And I could tell that it wasn't just a run-of-the-mill normal government of Canada building, because they have multiple security perimeters around the facility, and the people entering and exiting the facility do so in a very careful method. They when the gate is opening or closing, it creates an audible alarm. The people entering or exiting cannot move their vehicle until the gate has been secured. And you'll see the car that's pulling out. They'll drive through the gate a few feet. They'll stop, and then they'll wait for the gate to close. They're basically using their vehicle as a barricade for anyone to try to kind of ghost ride in behind them as they enter or exit. So I could tell right away that this building wasn't just your normal. It's not like Agriculture Canada or some building that would just house random bureaucrats. It was clearly a facility that held very sensitive materials and employed by, or staffed, I should say, staffed by very skilled and trained employees. Now, this is one of the custodians that cleans and or maintains the facilities. He's the one that actually, I don't like to use this word, but ratted me out to the site security forces. In this case, it would be the RCMP. He spotted me. It's hard to see, but with my eye, I could actually see better than the camera. I could see him staring at me. And so I knew right away that he was going to do this. Now, actually, I don't object to him ratting me out. And again, I don't like using that term, because this is precisely what he has been trained to do. And he would be negligent if he didn't do this. So actually, I don't have a problem with him ratting me out, because it's his job and his livelihood at stake if they find out later that he saw something and didn't say anything. So he goes into the building, from time to time he checks back on me, see what I'm doing, and there he goes. And He goes in a second. I'll cut the video. He's in there for about 2 to 5 minutes and then comes back out. Again, so I could tell that by the way everyone was acting when they entered and exit the building, again, that this was some sort of highly secured facility. Again, not just your normal run-of-the-mill building. Now, on the outside, there's very few markings on the building surrounding the perimeter fencing. The only sign is that it says the address and that this is a Government of Canada building. Usually when you have Transportation Canada or a National Defense building or, you know, Agriculture Canada, and there's a couple buildings in this region, you know, that fit those descriptions, they'll advertise that. They'll say this is a Resource Canada building or whatever. There are no markings. It just says Government of Canada. And then you have these high perimeter fences, and you have cameras everywhere. So I knew something was up. I knew something was different about this building. When I was filming, when I was on location filming, I didn't know what it was at the time. I would later find out that this is a Canadian version of an American Fusion Center. That means this facility is they've a whole bunch of different departments have gotten together, and they work out of this one location. It's basically surveillance and intelligence gathering facility. And fortunately, my interaction with these two RCMP officers who spot me, and they have some sort of discussion. I think they're trying to figure out who I am. Now, I will come to discover later that these two officers, in their attaché, in their folder, they actually have a bolo with my name, some of my details, and a number of pictures that the OPP and RCMP and the Niagara Regional Police have gathered and shared with each other. So they go back in. They're gone for about 5 to 10 minutes. And I'm going to cut to their interaction where they come back out and interact with me. I'm going to stop narrating. Feel free just to watch. If you have any questions, feel free to post them below. Yep, here we go.
Assistance at all, or?
No, I'm perfectly good.
Sabrina, right?
Nope.
Sabrina Hill?
No. Who are you and why are you approaching?
I'm Crystal Clark.
Sorry, what? Who?
With the RCMP.
Okay.
Yeah, so I'm just a little bit concerned because you're standing next to the highway, which is not really safe, right?
Okay.
And I just wanted to inform you that this is not public property over here either. So
I have no interest in going on to your private property.
Okay, well, I'm just concerned about your
And
safety.
by the way, it could be argued that I do have access if I had business with the RCMP. I don't, so I won't be entering your facility.
Okay, well, then, first of all, this is a Government of Canada building.
I'm sorry, what?
It's a Government of Canada building. It's not
private-
an RCMP building.
Well, regardless, if I had business with whoever might be stationed in that building, I could.
Yeah, no. Like
Yes.
I said, the building is not public facing. It has no public access. So,
Yeah.
but anyway, I'm just concerned.
I have no interest on going on your property anyway.
I'm just concerned, right?
I appreciate your concern.
In Canada, especially in Ontario, there is no statutory or common law requirement or expectations of peace officers over the duty of care to people not in custody, to their victims, or the family of victims.
But as you know, I'm perfectly allowed to be here.
Okay, well,
Actually, as police
I love-
officers,
I
we
love
do have to be concerned about your safety. But we just wanted to
I think-
inform you about
The lack of a fiduciary duty to provide care by police officers has been highlighted in many recent court decisions starting as recently as 2001, 2014, I believe, 2018, uh, at several levels of the court hierarchy in Ontario and in other provinces. Some police services in Ontario have fought to ensure that the police do not have a duty of care to potential victims or victims after a crime has occurred.
It's part of your job, but it's not part of the law. There's no common or statute law that requires you to look out for my safety, right?
once again, we're not here to have a confrontation.
They're not here to have a confrontation. They just wanted to A, identify me, and B, scare me off with the threat of you're standing at the side of the road, you're a danger to motorists, and you might even get hurt yourself.
Yeah.
I understand that, and I'm just stating that I appreciate that you might, as human beings, worry for my safety or their safety. That's fair enough. I accept that. But as you know, I'm allowed to be here, right? So,
it's a bit loud here.
as loud as I'm not going to get any closer to your property. But if you guys want to, feel free to move over. I understand. But I have no interest on going on your property. I'm just doing some filming. Getting pictures of some of the RCMP vehicles.
May I ask what your interest is?
I'm a videographer.
Yes.
Filming.
And if I understand correctly, you don't wish to identify yourself either?
Not at this time.
So I'll ask you once again, are you Sabrina Constance Hill?
I am not.
Pardon?
I am not.
Okay. What is your name?
Oh, I'm not going to identify myself. For sure.
Okay.
Yeah. No. Like if am I obliged to? Because I'll identify if I'm obliged to.
All right. Well, I'm not telling you. I'm
Well,
asking you. You're under no obligation.
We're
to
not
tell me.
arresting you or anything like that.
Oh no,
obviously,
of
so-
course, yeah. Like I understand.
We're just trying to talk to you.
I assume this was just a casual.
I'm sorry.
I'm assuming this is just a consensual conversation, right?
Of course.
So
Yes.
yeah, I knew that. I'm not being detained.
While I do have some issues with why the RCMP approached me and the type of information they have on me already, absent any sort of confrontation or issues with the RCMP, I do have to commend them on the fact that they never at any point suggested I was arrested or that I had to I was compelled to present identification. They didn't even suggest that, so I do commend them on that one thing.
I recognize that. Yeah.
Okay. And you understand that we are concerned for your safety.
Well, I know. I appreciate your concern. No,
And
for
you,
sure.
and you do understand that this is not a public facing facility, right? So
Well, as I said before, I have no interest in going on your property at this time.
okay.
So don't worry. I'm not going to be entering your facility at any point.
Okay. So you don't require any assistance whatsoever.
No, I'm pretty good.
Okay.
All right. Thanks.
Thank you.
Yeah. Take care.
Thank you. Bye-bye.
Take care. Yeah.
Now, one way you can tell that this ruse of coming out because they were concerned for my safety being on the side of a road is that, and it was all disingenuous, is the fact that they just leave. I mean, if I was breaking the law, whether it's a provincial law or a municipal bylaw, they would have removed me. That is for sure. This was all a ruse to either identify me, which they already knew who I was. They're in their red book, in the government of Canada, in law enforcement, they have these things called the red book, and they're little folders with troublemakers, and usually the media sometimes ends up in these books. They already know who I am. This wasn't about identifying me so much as to intimidate me by saying we know who you are, and thinking that they'll scare me off because I'm standing at the side of the road, thinking, oh, maybe I am breaking the law. where I know I wasn't. So it was all a ruse. It was all disingenuous. Their concern isn't real. And it's just proven by the fact that they left and they did nothing. Nothing about where I was standing changed from before, during, or after this contact. But again, they left. So this is how the police operate. Just be aware of that.
That is surveillance equipment if I've ever seen it.